There were situations that should have ended differently. Places you should not have walked away from. Dangers you sensed without understanding why. You felt something invisible pull you back, slow you down, or make you change direction. That was not randomness. That was intervention. You were not spared out of coincidence. You were chosen to continue because the story attached to your name has not finished its assignment. Many people ask why they are still alive when others are not. Why they were rescued. Why they made it through addiction, heartbreak, betrayal, illness, accidents, loneliness, depression. The answer is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes the answer is simply that your life has an impact that ripples beyond your understanding. Your existence influences people silently. Someone is inspired by your strength and you do not even know it. Someone holds on because they saw you hold on. Someone believes in second chances because you showed them one. Sometimes you are the miracle and you have not realized it yet. You did not survive because you were lucky. Luck runs out. Purpose does not. There is still something only you can say, only you can create, only you can build, only you can heal, only you can change. The chapter that nearly broke you became the chapter that positioned you. Life did not end that day because destiny refused to. You did not come this far to stop here. Section 2, Time is running out for the old cycle, expanded. There is a version of you that once served you but now limits you. A mindset built during survival mode. A belief system shaped by old hurt. A pattern repeated because it felt familiar. These things protected you once, but they cannot lead you to what is coming next. Time is running out for the cycle that keeps you questioning your worth. Time is running out for habits that drain your spirit more than they develop you. Time is running out for fear-based decisions that delay your blessing. You are being asked to choose differently. Growth demands discomfort. You cannot climb and cling at the same time. You cannot step forward while staring backward. You cannot enter a new season carrying the weight of seasons that expired. Many wait for the perfect moment to change. They wait to feel ready, confident, educated, welcomed, applauded. Yet purpose does not wait for convenient circumstances. When your spirit knows it is time, the only right time is now. Your delay has not eliminated your promise, but it has stretched your journey. Every time you hesitated, the dream did not disappear, but it moved further from reach. Not because you were unworthy, but because alignment requires action. The opportunity ahead of you has a window. Not to create fear, but to create momentum. Something in your life is closing so something greater can open. The question is simple: will you release the version of you that fit into your past but cannot survive your future? There are battles you never saw because they were fought before they touched your reality. Storms rerouted, people revealed, connections removed, invitations blocked. At the time, these things looked like rejection, delay, or loss. In truth, they were protection. Not every person who stood beside you had good intentions for you. Some wanted proximity to your heart but not responsibility toward it. Some wanted your energy but not your empowerment. Some were attached to your old identity and could not handle your evolution. You outgrew conversations. You outgrew chaos. You outgrew chasing, proving, shrinking, and begging. And when you stopped feeding what drained you, you discovered what peace tastes like. You were protected from environments that would have altered your character and silenced your spirit. You were protected from opportunities that came dressed as blessings but carried the weight of bondage. You were protected from moments that would have tempted you to forget who you were. Protection is not always comfortable. Sometimes it looks like loneliness. Sometimes it feels like everything familiar being removed at once. Sometimes it feels like starting over while others seem far ahead. But heaven never removes without the intention to replace. If you could see the conversations held about you behind closed doors, the jealousy hidden behind compliments, the manipulation behind concern, you would thank God every day for unanswered prayers. What left made room for what was meant. You know something needs to change. You have known for a long time. You can feel the shift in your spirit long before your life shows evidence. You sense it in relationships that no longer align. You sense it in environments that no longer inspire you. You sense it in dreams that refuse to leave your mind. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It is about returning to the person you were before fear rewrote your identity. You were created with boldness. You were created with gifts. You were created with sensitivity that detects energy others ignore. You were created to lead, influence, uplift, heal, or create something meaningful. Change requires saying yes without having every detail. There will never be a moment where you feel fully prepared, fully confident, fully certain. Faith begins where explanation ends. You have spent enough time thinking. Enough time delaying. Enough time researching, planning, hesitating. At some point, thought must become action. Dreams must become movement. Healing must become choosing. Growth must become visible. The life you want is within reach, but it cannot be accessed by holding on to what keeps you comfortable. Comfort is the cage. Obedience is the key. You have been waiting for a sign. This is it. The tug in your heart is not random. The confirmation you feel is not imagination. You are hearing this for a reason that may not reveal itself today but will make sense in time. Your story is not over. Your purpose is not cancelled. Your spirit is not broken beyond repair. The fact that you can still feel, still hope, still dream, proves that your purpose survived the storm that was meant to erase you. You are entering a season where silence becomes strategy, where peace becomes power, and where alignment matters more than approval. You are stepping into a chapter you once prayed for, and the version of you that doubted cannot come with you. You are meant to rise. You are meant to rebuild. You are meant to walk into opportunities that match your calling. Do not apologize for outgrowing who you used to be. Do not shrink yourself to soothe the insecurity of others. Do not let fear negotiate your future. You survived for a reason. Now you must live like you believe it. There comes a moment in a person's life when heaven goes from whispering to warning. Not because God is angry. Not because punishment is coming. But because the timing of destiny is so sensitive that silence would be more dangerous than intervention. That is the spiritual moment you are standing inside right now. There are seasons when God allows you to learn slowly, but there are also seasons when God accelerates you suddenly. Archangel Michael does not step forward unless something is shifting in the unseen. He is a warrior, a defender, a protector of spiritual paths, and when he speaks with urgency, it means something has already been decided in the higher realms. You may have sensed it in the last few days, the inner restlessness that makes no sense. You are not afraid, but you have been alert. You have been watchful, almost as if your soul has been standing at attention. There have been moments where you paused, not knowing why. Your spirit felt something your mind could not explain. That is not coincidence. That is not imagination. Your spirit recognizes what your ears have not yet heard. Heaven speaks soul first, revelation second. Archangel Michael is speaking because your next step carries consequences. Your choices from here have weight. Your direction determines what opportunities open and what opportunities close. Sometimes one yes unlocks 10 blessings. Sometimes one wrong partnership creates 5 setbacks. Sometimes one delay changes a lifetime. And heaven is simply saying, it is time to move differently now. Not react. Not panic. Not rush. Move with spiritual awareness. Michael is not warning you of disaster. He is warning you of distraction. Not every danger looks like darkness. Sometimes danger looks like comfort. Sometimes danger looks familiar. Sometimes danger looks like the thing you once prayed for, but it is being offered in a version that does not align with your growth. Heaven is not just preparing you to receive. Heaven is preparing you to discern. There are people returning from your past not because they love you but because they sense you are moving without them. You are elevating, and elevation always attracts interruption. Not everyone who smiles is supportive. Not everyone claps is loyal. Not everyone who needs you is meant to walk with you. Heaven sees what your eyes cannot. Your soul is being protected from attachments that would keep you small. You may have noticed certain situations ending abruptly or communication fading without explanation. That is divine protection disguised as silence. When heaven removes access without providing closure, it is because the conversation would have convinced you to stay where you no longer belong. Closure is a courtesy God does not always allow when the danger is emotional. Right now, the message is simple. You are stepping into a new spiritual structure. The way you prayed will change. The way you decide will change. The way you handle opportunities will change. You are not being guided like a beginner anymore. You are being guided like a builder. A leader. Someone trusted with influence, responsibility, and impact. Heaven is giving you instruction on a higher level because your calling is entering a higher level. This message is not fear-based. It is purpose-based. Think about how many times you could have been injured, lost, broken, or taken out. Yet here you are. Not by luck. Not by coincidence. Something protected you when you were not aware. Something shielded you when you were not paying attention. Something stepped between you and danger when danger was looking directly at you. That something is speaking now. Archangel Michael is not reminding you of protection to comfort you. He is reminding you because the level you are stepping into requires participation. Heaven carried you before. Now heaven is partnering with you. Protection continues, but alignment is required. You cannot walk everywhere anymore. You cannot entertain every energy anymore. You cannot ignore your intuition anymore. The spiritual realm is not far from your life. It is connected, active, and responding. If this message reached you today, it is because you were meant to hear it today. Not yesterday. Not later. Today. Heaven speaks at appointed times, and this is one of them. Trust what you feel. Trust what is shifting. Trust what is being removed. Trust what is being revealed. This is not a warning of fear. This is a warning of preparation. Something better than what you lost is forming. Something bigger than what you expected is aligning. Something that has your name on it is coming, and distractions must fall away before it arrives. When Michael steps forward with urgency, it means heaven is not only watching. Heaven is intervening. And intervention means your story is not over. It means your protection has purpose. It means your calling is active. It means God still has a plan and you are still the one chosen to carry it. Not every fight in your life came from the people you saw. Some battles were never physical. Some wounds were never caused by the words spoken in front of you but by the spirit sent against you. There were moments you thought you were unstable, moments you thought something was wrong with you, moments where sadness came out of nowhere, where anxiety rose without reason, where your motivation vanished and you could not explain why. But what if I told you those emotions were signals of a spiritual war you did not even know you were surviving? The greatest attacks come when destiny is near. Not when you are wandering. Not when you are lost. But when your future begins to take shape. When the enemy senses your alignment before you can see your breakthrough. Darkness fights what heaven favors. If you were fighting battles you could not name, it was because something was trying to stop you from stepping into something greater. The confusion was not weakness. It was interference. Think of it like this. When a plane rises higher, the turbulence becomes stronger. Not because the plane is weak, but because the altitude has changed. You experienced spiritual turbulence because your elevation changed. Your mindset shifted. Your decisions grew wiser. Your spirit matured. You stopped chasing temporary people. You stopped begging for validation. You stopped apologizing for being called. You started healing. You started praying differently. You started seeing through things you once fell for. That is why resistance showed up. The enemy does not attack what is not a threat. You were not being broken. You were being proven. Pressure reveals identity. A diamond is only a piece of coal that refused to crumble. The reason heaven sent help, the reason Michael's presence surrounds you now, is because the battle was never meant to defeat you. It was meant to reveal you. There were nights you could not sleep. Not because your body was tired but because your spirit was on guard. You may have felt exhausted for no reason. Your mind may have replayed conversations that were already over. Your soul may have felt heavy even when life looked fine from the outside. Those were not random feelings. That was spiritual interference meeting spiritual sensitivity. You were learning to discern without realizing it. Your spirit recognizes danger long before your mind does. That feeling that rises in your chest when something is off. That sudden change of atmosphere when you walk into certain rooms. That discomfort when you speak to certain people. That is spiritual intelligence sharpening. You thought something was wrong with you. Heaven was showing you that something was awakening within you. Some people were placed in your life as lessons. Others were placed as ladders. But a few were placed as blockages. And heaven began removing them quietly because you were too loyal to leave and too kind to confront. You prayed for guidance. God answered with separation. You prayed for peace. God answered with distance. You prayed for clarity. God answered with silence. When God exposes what someone is behind the scenes, believe it. The spiritual realm has been more active in your life than you know. You have been protected from conversations that never reached you. From plots that never succeeded. From accusations that never reached your ears. From harm that never made it to your doorstep. If you only knew the battles fought for you, you would never question if you are chosen. You survived emotional warfare with your soul still intact. That is not accident. You recovered from heartbreak without losing hope. That is not coincidence. You walked through disappointment and still found a reason to believe. That is not weakness. That is spiritual endurance. Most people break when things fall apart. You built from the pieces. That alone is victory. Michael stands with people who choose faith over fear. Because those are the ones who carry kingdom assignments. Your calling is not small. Your presence carries weight. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. When you pray, heaven listens. When you worship, chains break. You do not see yourself the way heaven sees you. If you did, you would stop doubting your strength every time resistance shows up. You are not being warned because you are in danger. You are being informed because you are valuable. Warriors do not receive casual instructions. They receive strategic ones. This is not a season where you wander. This is a season where you walk with direction, clarity, and spiritual authority. Your life carries evidence of survival. Your calling carries evidence of purpose. Your future carries evidence of promise. And the reason heaven is speaking with urgency is because what is coming requires your awareness, not your worry. The battle is shifting. This time you will not be blindsided. This time you will not be manipulated. This time you will not be pulled back into cycles that were designed to waste your time and drain your spirit. You are stepping into a season where your discernment will be your shield. Where your boundaries will be your protection. Where your spiritual confidence will be your weapon. The enemy hoped you would stay broken. Instead, you are rising. There are promises written over your life that you stopped believing in. Not because they were untrue, but because the waiting felt longer than your faith expected. When time stretches, doubt creeps in. When breakthrough delays, disappointment speaks louder than hope. Life has a way of making even the strongest forget that God's timing is not denial. Heaven heard every prayer the first time. But sometimes the answer needs a stage, a setup, a chain of events, before it can be revealed. You may not realize this, but the promise never left. You only learned to stop staring at it. There was a moment where you dreamed fearlessly. Where you planned boldly. Where you spoke confidently about your future. Then suddenly life hit. Distraction came. Detours came. Unexpected pain came. And you started lowering your expectations just to survive days that felt heavy. You stopped reaching for more and started settling for less because less hurt less. It is not that you stopped believing in God. You stopped believing God would do it for you. Many people quote faith until faith is the only thing they have left to stand on. Faith is not believing because it looks possible. Faith is believing when biology, finances, history, relationships, and logic all scream impossible. Faith begins when sight ends. You began with faith. But life has a way of breaking the enthusiastic and discouraging the hopeful. And heaven understood that. Your tears were not ignored. Your frustration was not offensive. Your questions did not disqualify you. God is not threatened by human emotion. He formed it. Sometimes God allows delays so your miracle arrives in a season where it will not be wasted. You asked for blessings years ago that you were not ready to carry. Not because you were incapable but because your environment did not match your destiny. Some promises require separation. Some require growth. Some require isolation. Not everything can be born in the crowd. Think of a seed planted in soil. If it were given sun too early, it would burn before rooting. If it were given water too much, it would drown before growing strong enough. So God planted you in seasons where nothing looked like progress. Nothing looked like movement. But beneath the surface, your roots were forming. That silent period was not punishment. It was preparation. You were learning patience through disappointment. You were learning strength through abandonment. You were learning self-worth through rejection. You were learning discernment through betrayal. These were not failures. They were educations. And the reason heaven is speaking now, the reason there is urgency in the spiritual realm around you, is because the season of quiet preparation is ending. You are heading into the season where what is buried becomes visible. When what was delayed becomes delivered. When what was painful becomes purposeful. You may ask, why now? Because your heart posture changed. Because you stopped idolizing timelines. Because you learned to worship without conditions. Because you stopped chasing approval and started chasing alignment. Because what you lost made room for what is coming. Because heaven watched you remain kind when you were misunderstood, stay faithful when you were overlooked, stay humble when you had every right to harden your heart. The promise is still yours. The purpose has not expired. The calling did not cancel itself because time passed. God knew the exact year, the exact month, the exact moment, where everything would align. He did not ask you to understand the process. He asked you to trust it. When something is heaven sent, it cannot be taken, stolen, or replaced by anyone else. You cannot miss what was written for your soul. You cannot lose what carries your name in spirit. Destiny does not expire because time was longer than expected. Delays change you, not the promise. Your story is not late. It is right where it was always meant to unfold. You will see why certain doors closed. Why certain people exited. Why certain opportunities fell apart. You will look back and realize that the things you begged God to save were the very things that would have suffocated your future. Sometimes protection feels like punishment until the blessing arrives. The promise you forgot is waking back up. And heaven is not asking you to figure out how it will happen. Heaven is asking you to prepare as if it will. Speak like it is coming. Plan like it is near. Walk like you are chosen. Stand like you are approved. The promise was never lost. It was simply waiting for you to grow into the version of yourself that could carry it without breaking under the weight. There comes a moment in everyone's life where heaven stops asking and starts instructing. Where guidance becomes direction. Where nudges become warnings. This is that moment for you. You have reached a spiritual intersection where two paths are available, but only one carries your calling. The first path is familiar. It is comfortable. It is predictable. It is filled with routines you know, people you know, environments you understand. It is the version of life where you play small because small feels safe. Where you convince yourself that settling is wisdom. Where you lower your expectations so disappointment cannot find you. It has less risk, fewer unknowns, and demands little from you. But here is the truth. That path contains no destiny. It contains survival, not fulfillment. It holds memories, not miracles. It allows existence, not purpose. Many choose that path because fear is louder than faith. But you are not here for ordinary. You were not created to shrink yourself to fit the comfort of others. The second path is harder. It requires letting go. It demands courage. It often means stepping alone before others recognize why. This path asks you to trust the voice nobody else hears, to believe in timing nobody can predict, to move forward without physical proof. This is the path of calling. And every chosen soul must walk it before the breakthrough arrives. You might not realize this, but the reason heaven is communicating with urgency is because staying where you are is becoming more dangerous than stepping into the unknown. Growth becomes painful when it is resisted. When your spirit outgrows your surroundings, the misalignment becomes heavy. What used to feel normal now drains you. What used to excite you now exhausts you. The conversations you tolerated now feel empty. The environment you once fought to stay in now feels too small to breathe. Life has a gentle way of pushing you when you refuse to move. Doors close not because you are cursed, but because you are being redirected. People exit not because you failed, but because their assignment in your story is complete. Plans collapse not to punish you, but to protect you from future consequences you cannot see yet. What happens when heaven speaks and a person turns away? What happens when warnings are dismissed as coincidences? What happens when signs are ignored and signals are brushed off as random thoughts? Throughout your life you have felt moments where your spirit was trying to get your attention. Moments you could not explain. A sudden pause. A heaviness. A dream so real it lingered. A gut feeling that refused to quiet down. These were not accidents. They were messages. Ignoring spiritual communication does not remove you from your calling. It removes you from the timing. There is a cost to delay. Not because God punishes, but because seasons shift. Opportunities have windows. Alignments have appointments. Destiny has coordination. When everything in the unseen aligns for your breakthrough and you stay where you are out of fear, heaven will still love you, but you may find yourself walking a longer road than you needed to walk. Think about a train arriving at a station. The doors open. The opportunity is there. The destination is set. You can step on, or you can stay behind because the movement seems too fast or too unfamiliar. The train does not wait forever. Not because it rejects you, but because the journey continues. The spiritual realm is moving right now. You have been feeling it. Sudden shifts. Emotional sensitivity. Unexpected memories resurfacing. People appearing or disappearing rapidly. Situations changing without explanation. These are not out of nowhere. They are indicators that the timing of your life is changing. If you ignore this moment, frustration returns where breakthrough was designed to enter. Cycles repeat. Lessons restart. Closed doors stay closed because you never walk through the new ones. But the heaviest consequence of ignoring spiritual alignment is this: you begin to live a life smaller than the one written for you. You were not created to survive. You were created to influence, create, lead, heal, inspire. Your existence carries impact. Even your pain taught others strength. Even your silence healed someone who watched how you carried it. You have no idea how many people see you as evidence that resilience exists. But when gifted people stay silent, the world loses something heaven intended to display. Ignoring your calling does not make you safe. It makes you stuck. You will always feel something is missing. You will always sense something unfinished. You will always feel a pull to something more, but without clarity. That feeling is not anxiety. It is unexpressed purpose. But here is the deeper truth most never hear: heaven does not warn because danger is ahead. Heaven warns because destiny is ahead. The danger is in staying where pain became normal. Where chaos became familiar. Where your growth made others uncomfortable. Where your heart was undervalued and your spirit was unnoticed. The longer you stay in what God is trying to move you away from, the more life loses its color. Your spirit has outgrown certain conversations. Your mind has outgrown old patterns. Your soul has outgrown old battles. But your environment may not reflect that evolution yet. That is why spiritual urgency exists. Ignoring this moment will not destroy you. But it may delay what could have happened soon into something that will happen eventually. And eventually can take years. You have the chance to shift now, not someday. Not after everything makes sense. Not after you feel completely fearless. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is movement in spite of fear. Delaying your destiny also delays the people connected to your voice. Every calling impacts others. There are lives you are meant to touch. People you are meant to encourage. Paths you are meant to open. Chains you are meant to break. Ignoring your calling is not just about you. It is about everyone tied to your yes. Think of how many were healed because someone else survived something they thought would kill them. Think of how many were saved because someone else shared the message they nearly kept quiet. Somebody is waiting for the version of you that is on the other side of this decision. Heaven moves in patterns of purpose, not pressure. Urgency is not to frighten you. It is to awaken you. To shake the sleep off your spirit. To tell you that the season has changed. Everything you have endured until now has been preparation. Every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, every tear shed in silence, every setback that seemed unfair, these were not meaningless. They were shaping you. They were teaching you endurance. They were refining your vision. They were strengthening your faith. Every obstacle was carving space for the person you are now meant to become. You have been tested. Not to punish you. Not to prove you weak. But to prove you capable. To prove that when the storms come, you will rise, and when doors close, you will still move forward. To show that you can stand in truth even when no one else acknowledges it. You are being forged into someone whose presence alone carries impact and whose purpose will inspire others. Archangel Michael is not speaking because he doubts your strength. He is speaking because your strength is needed now. Your calling is urgent. Your influence is imminent. And heaven cannot allow distractions to steal your focus at this critical moment. The life reserved for you, the assignments, the breakthroughs, the peace, the joy, the restoration, cannot enter if your spirit is tangled in hesitation, fear, or attachment to what no longer belongs in your path. It is time to step forward without reservation. It is time to release what was never meant to follow you into your future. Let go of old fears. Let go of doubts about your worth. Let go of people, patterns, and places that try to pull you backward. The moment for compromise has passed. The moment for obedience has arrived. The life waiting for you requires courage, faith, and unwavering belief that what is coming is greater than what is leaving. You may not yet see the road ahead. You may not yet feel the certainty in your body. You may not yet understand every detail of your path. That is fine. Faith does not require clarity. Faith requires action. Faith asks you to walk even when the next step is invisible. Faith asks you to trust what your soul already knows, that you were chosen, protected, and prepared for this exact moment. Archangel Michael's warning is urgent because your timing is critical. Not every person receives such a message. Not every soul is recognized in the unseen realms for their readiness. You are. You have survived when many would have fallen. You have endured when many would have given up. You have waited when many would have turned bitter. Your spirit has proven itself, and now the universe is bending to meet the person you have become. The life ahead is not a repeat of the past. It is not something borrowed or inherited. It is uniquely yours. It is crafted by the choices you make today. Every step you take in alignment with your calling shapes reality. Every yes you give to what is holy, good, and true moves you closer to destiny. Every no you give to fear, delay, and attachment removes obstacles from your path. You are co-creating with the divine, and the momentum you build now determines everything that comes next. Remember this: protection does not stop. Guidance does not end. Favor does not diminish. The same power that shielded you before is still around you. The same force that carried you through storms still walks with you. But you must move. You cannot wait. You cannot stall. The blessings are ready, but they require your cooperation. Heaven works with willing hands and faithful hearts. If you step fully into what is intended for you, nothing can block your progress. Doors will open. People will align. Miracles will manifest. Opportunities will appear exactly when and where they are meant to. And finally, understand this: your life has significance beyond what you see. You were spared for a reason. You were preserved for a purpose. Every hardship, every trial, every loss was designed to prepare you for the level of destiny you are about to enter. The spiritual realm has orchestrated events in your favor, even when they seemed harsh or incomprehensible. The message from Archangel Michael is clear: do not delay. Do not doubt. Do not resist the life that heaven has reserved for you. Step forward boldly. Step forward confidently. Step forward knowing that you are protected, guided, and chosen. The hand of God is upon you. The angels are surrounding you. And the next chapter of your life is waiting, fully ready to unfold in alignment with your destiny. Walk into it with faith, courage, and unwavering obedience, for everything you have survived has been preparing you for this moment. Nothing is wasted. Everything matters. And your miracle is here. There is a moment ahead of you, just on the horizon of your awareness, where everything changes. Not slowly. Not in increments. But suddenly, almost like the universe shifted overnight. Opportunities you only dreamed of will appear. Doors you thought were closed forever will swing wide open. Connections you longed for will find their way to you. But this moment, this season, will not wait forever. Heaven has set the timing, and Archangel Michael's presence is proof that your breakthrough is imminent, if, and only if, you act. This is the defining moment between survival and revival. Between waiting and walking boldly into purpose. Between holding on to what was and stepping fully into what is meant to be. You have been given countless signals, signs, and nudges. Every challenge that prepared you, every setback that strengthened you, every silence that forced reflection, they were all setting the stage for this breakthrough. It is not coming randomly. It is coming because you have earned it through endurance, faith, and obedience. But there is a condition: you must choose action over hesitation. You must trust your intuition when the world around you doubts. You must move forward even when fear whispers that it is safer to stay put. The breakthroughs God has reserved for you are not passive. They require movement, commitment, and readiness to embrace what has been waiting for you all along. Think of your life like a river that has been dammed. For years, obstacles held your waters back, restricting your flow. But now the dam is being removed. The waters are ready to surge forward. If you hesitate, the current may slow. If you doubt, the force will find another path. But if you step into alignment with the flow, the river will carry you effortlessly to exactly where you were meant to go. Archangel Michael's warning is not meant to instill fear, it is meant to awaken resolve. He does not stand over you as an observer, he stands beside you as a warrior, a protector, and a guide. Every instinct you have felt lately, every sense that something is calling you, is him preparing you for the exact moment when your life changes. Heaven is not giving you a rehearsal, this is the real moment. And the breakthrough is only as effective as your readiness to receive it. You may have noticed that certain doors are closing with unusual speed. People are leaving your life more quickly than before. Situations are shifting in ways you do not yet understand. This is not coincidence. It is divine alignment. The universe is clearing the path for your breakthrough. Those who do not belong in the next chapter are being removed. Those who would slow your progress are being repositioned. And you must do the same internally: release doubt, release fear, release hesitation. Every emotional attachment to the old you that keeps you from moving forward must be surrendered. Imagine stepping into a room and instantly feeling the weight of your purpose. Everything aligns around you. People, circumstances, even time itself seems to adjust in your favor. That is what is waiting. But the key is your decision. You can wait another day, another hour, another year, and the opportunity may slip away. Or you can move now, in obedience, trusting that what you cannot see is already working behind the scenes on your behalf. The breakthrough you have been praying for is not coming as a favor. It is coming as a consequence of everything you endured, every prayer you whispered in the dark, every trial that refused to break you, every moment you held faith when logic said otherwise. And yet, even with all this, the universe cannot deliver what you are not willing to step into. Archangel Michael reminds you that the choice is yours. You can stay where you are and continue to survive. Or you can step boldly, fully aware that protection, guidance, and divine favor are ready to meet you. The life that was written for you is waiting. The miracles that were promised are standing in the wings. The purpose that was sown into your soul is ready to manifest. But you must act. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Take a deep breath. Center your mind. Open your heart. Release fear. Accept courage. And step forward with the knowledge that everything you have survived was preparing you for this exact season, this exact breakthrough, this exact moment where heaven calls your name, and the doors that have been closed for too long are ready to open fully and permanently. Your breakthrough is waiting. But it will not wait forever. This is the moment that separates hesitation from destiny. Everything you have endured, the sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, the delays, the disappointments, has led to this exact point. Heaven does not repeat seasons unnecessarily. Every test, every challenge, every person who left or entered your life, every door that closed prematurely, all of it was orchestrated to prepare you for this precise moment of awakening. And now, the voice of Archangel Michael rings with clarity: do not delay. The urgency is real because time moves differently in the realm of destiny. Opportunities appear like lightning, they are brief but brilliant. If you are not ready, you may see the flash and miss the impact. The breakthrough waiting for you cannot remain paused indefinitely. The universe is set in motion, and your alignment determines how fully you receive it. This is why you feel pressure, restlessness, and an unexplainable pull toward action. These are not random emotions, they are divine signals guiding you to the exact steps that must be taken. You may be asking yourself, what happens if I fail? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I am not ready? The truth is, you have already proven your readiness. Every obstacle you survived, every moment you held on to faith despite fear, every time you stood alone yet unshaken, these were not coincidences. They were training sessions designed to ensure that when the breakthrough arrives, you are fully capable of handling it. You are stronger than you realize, more prepared than you understand, and more aligned than you believe. But the breakthrough requires action. It is not enough to know it is coming. It is not enough to pray or hope. Destiny demands movement. Heaven works through those who participate actively in their own alignment. Every step you take in obedience, every decision made with clarity and faith, every boundary set to protect your purpose, these are the keys to unlocking the full measure of what is ready to enter your life. Archangel Michael's warning is urgent because the choices you make now will determine the trajectory of your next season. Hesitation may keep you comfortable, but it will also keep you stagnant. Fear may feel protective, but it is a cage for your destiny. The life that awaits you is not meant for fear, delay, or doubt. It is meant for boldness, faith, and decisive action. It is meant for someone willing to rise, someone willing to step fully into the calling that has been written into their soul. The unseen realm has been moving on your behalf. Protection has surrounded you, guidance has been present, and favor has been waiting. The spiritual forces that have watched over you have not been idle. They have cleared paths, shielded you from hidden attacks, and aligned opportunities that your human eyes could not yet see. But now, your participation is required. Heaven can only do so much. You must now meet the momentum with faith, courage, and willingness to act. Think of this as a spiritual appointment. The universe has prepared the moment. Archangel Michael has delivered the message. The breakthrough, the miracle, the alignment, everything is poised and ready. What remains is your decision. Will you step forward fully, embracing what is coming with confidence, trust, and faith? Or will you hesitate, letting fear, doubt, or attachment hold you back? Remember, this is not a threat. It is a call to action. It is a reminder that you were chosen for this moment, that the life you have prayed for is standing at your doorstep, and that every delay, every trial, and every challenge was not meant to break you but to strengthen you for this precise season. The choice is yours. Step into it boldly. Step into it confidently. Step into the life that heaven has prepared for you. Let go of what no longer serves your purpose. Release the past. Trust the timing. Walk forward with faith in every step, knowing that divine protection, guidance, and favor surround you. The breakthrough is here. The miracle is near. The alignment is happening. Heaven has called. Archangel Michael has warned. The only question now is, will you answer?